This recording is to illustrate how to reformat a campaign for, say, if a client has both, we're managing both Facebook and Instagram, we will have to reformat the campaign for the additional platform. And when I say that, what I mean is that we have a structure for each client based on client preferences, client audiences, and what's in the best interest of the overall performance of the campaign. In this instance, I am going to be reformatting Arkansas 529's Instagram campaign due to their demographic, as well as just trying to optimize their ad spend. We're shifting things just slightly for them as of this recording and starting with Instagram, whereas previously we started with Facebook. Regardless, I want to say that the objective is quite straightforward. It is that if you know anything about social media, you know that different platforms have different preferences and different optimizations. For example, Instagram really performs better with select hashtags and using those to reach broader audiences, as well as differently formatted images, and links have to go in the bio. So in the caption, you might have to read link in bio, whereas on Facebook, we would just include the link directly in the caption. So I hope that that makes sense, that our overall objective is just to format it correctly for that social media platform, regardless of if we're moving from Facebook to Instagram, Instagram to Facebook. Facebook and Twitter are kind of similar, but say Facebook to LinkedIn, we might take a more professional voice. So just creating that content outline that makes the most sense for that platform. In this particular instance, like I said, I'm going to be going from Instagram over to Facebook. And I do want to note too, before I start to kind of get into my process here, I do want to note that I oftentimes really like to wait until I get feedback from the client to reformat, because what can happen is and sometimes this just isn't possible, but what can happen is, say you reformat it, you spend that time, and then you have to go back in and edit both campaigns because the client's like, oop, I want to change this picture and this image and yada, yada, yada. So just make sure to try to kind of pay attention to where we're at in the process, or where you are at in the process of accepting or receiving that approval directly from the client. Simple enough. The first thing I'm going to go in here and do is start at the top, hold shift and copy and paste. Pretty straightforward. I'm going to format this here. And now the first thing that I like to do is I'm going to go through here and change any of the phrases that just don't make sense for Instagram. Another thing too that we haven't done for this client is create an Instagram hashtag series for the comments, and I do want to kind of note that that is important oftentimes to kind of go back through and incorporate and kind of check in on. So here we've got learn more with a link in our bio. I'm just going to this one we're kind of pending content. And I'm not even going to have a call to action. We'll just kind of incorporate a link, website visits. And, trying to click out of that little pop-up there. Okay, so probably for website visits, let me look at our particular post. There wasn't a link in the Instagram, which is kind of a little bit of an issue because this is a website traffic. College can be expensive, saving for it doesn't have shouldn't be by making small contributions. Okay, so I'm probably going to go to this features and benefits page. And everyone should know that when you're scheduling and there is a link, that should just go into the caption. People scheduling know this. Again, I'm just skimming for the link in bio, type wording, and skimming again. All right, so we didn't have too many in this particular case. Now, if I was formatting from Facebook over to Instagram, I would kind of just add on that link in bio comment or something similar. I am going to go through, and the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take a look at our content and have Gabrielle resize a few things specifically for Facebook that just kind of makes sense, so that we have that variation. For example, post 12. All I'm going to put in here, because Gabrielle just does a fantastic job, let's just say reformat for Facebook. And what this means is you should be aware, if you are doing this particular task, you should know that there is a difference between the size preferences in Instagram versus Facebook. And so it's important to differentiate those and just have a little bit of fluctuation and some variation. This one does have to be 1080 by 1080, so that should work. Anything that's an ad, I would not necessarily have her resize because it's really close to Instagram size. I mean, that can be tricky, so really watch which calendar you're in there, because I've done a couple of things. Let's see, post 18, that can definitely be resized for Facebook. And again, I'm going to highlight this in this dark blue so that she knows. And post 11, that couldn't hurt. Post 11. Yeah, let's do this one too. All right. So I think that looks pretty good to me. I'm going to go ahead and move on to kind of the next thing that I do is when I outline this campaign, and this is going to be kind of in the weeds for a lot of people that don't really, if you're doing this and you don't quite understand social media strategy, I hope that I can break this down in a way that makes sense here. And it may be that for a little while I may have to go in and work on this allocation, but what I did here is for my own benefit and for Ike's, I put all of our ad spend into one campaign, this initial campaign, just to kind of show where it would be allocated. That being said, the client doesn't need to know that once I go back in here, I'm actually going to be splitting that up between these two campaigns. Now, this in particular is just important for these clients that we have multiple platforms that we're managing, and we need to be really cognizant of what our objectives are and understand where we are in that layering phase. Are we really pushing for brand awareness, or is there a different objective? Are we really pushing conversions for that particular month? So I think it's important, extremely important, just to keep that in mind. One thing I did not do, but I wanted to do here, was I am going to add in one more additional post regarding the tax deadline being pushed back to July 15th. That's just kind of a sidebar note for myself, I guess. So I'm going to go through here, and I think that placement-wise, what we'll probably do here is run this from Facebook, but place it onto the oh my goodness, audience placements on Instagram. So I'm just going to say, I'm going to change this into newsfeed here. And I'm going to, let's just say, and so I'm splitting this up a little bit for a newsfeed boost here. Ike might not like me for doing that, but I apologize, Ike. I'm going to leave this ad spend on Instagram because I think that that will be just important as far as getting those younger couples. This is targeted towards nursery, and so I'm thinking that this placement will probably be the best. And anything like this, I'll probably, again, just most of the time when it comes to these bigger ads with these larger ad spins, if it's not in the awareness phase, wait, which phase was, okay, that was awareness phase. I'll probably still just keep this as news feed and then have us boost from Facebook. So I'm going to go in and I'm just going to backspace here. I know that it's already copied over here, so I'm going to leave that be. All right. Just going to leave that open. I'm going to leave this for Instagram because it is kind of an awareness phase. College can be expensive. Saving for it shouldn't be. Website visits, we're going to keep this on Facebook. Conversions, that's going to stay on Facebook, and then it'll just kind of, we can put this on the news feed actually, and we can still, why don't we do that? $50 from the news feed, and let's do, I'm kind of changing this up just a little bit to see how we can really move and shift into Instagram and really get that younger demographic thinking about saving for education. I like this placement on Instagram, so I'm actually going to keep it here with this. Newsfeed, having an education savings plan. Did I allocate that? Having an education, I'm going to leave it there. Facebook. All right. So Father's Day. Reminder, instruct you can. Yada yada. I'm gonna leave this on. Let me see how old our girl was in that graphic. I think it was this one, post 17, is that right? Post 13, let's just see. Yeah, let's do that on Instagram. So I'm gonna get rid of this here. And engagement, Instagram, everything. Okay, so I'm definitely going to leave this on, and we're just gonna change this to newsfeed on the Twitter, Facebook, because I specifically remember I really wanted this to go toward a specific objective of really trying to grow the following. So I'm interested to see how this one performs. I would honestly even boost this on Facebook. I think I might just let us go over a little bit because I just love this ad. Plus boost for engagement. And I wouldn't mind even doing a homepage visit here, just in the caption. All right, and yeah, we can leave that there. That's fine. Parent performance. I'm kind of good either way there, but I'm just going to put that there for Ike's sake. 430. That kind of puts us about where we're at. We're about $50 over on ad spend, but I'll just let Ike know that. Next, of course, I'm going to go in and let Gabrielle know. So I'm just going to click on my task, looking into the pod, and say paste, hey, Gabrielle, this is ready for the most part. Most of the time I'll just be really short and I'll say this is ready. I do need to add in one more post about tax season slash all right. And then I'm going to go in and let Ike know, probably in this main thread with everyone. Earnhardt, is that how you spell it? Sorry, I probably just butchered that. Earhart, not Earnhardt. Alright, Earhart post too much. I'm just kind of explaining where I'm coming from here. And he's pretty good, so I'm going to say feel free to adjust as you need / think is best, because he's the expert. All right, and I'm, nope, 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 not starting that. So I'm finished with that. It automatically stopped that timer, which is great. I am going to go ahead and wrap this video up. So I hope that this helps on how to reformat for Instagram to Facebook or vice versa. It should really be self-explanatory to reverse that.